hurt me.
compelled.
I was.
So stop the slate of hate. Defend LGBTQ. Well, what about all the other ones? The AAIP2S plus.
Now
Why you
who's
guys leaving
leaving
them
shit out?
That's not very inclusive of you guys, ACLU. Come on now. I mean, you have to have the whole page of like a whole paragraph of how many people.
This
are
is why they
included.
should shorten it to Skittles or the alphabet people.
But yeah, this has been their whole like. I had a good word in my head and then it just
Protect the rights of Skittles Hoosiers.
But this has been their whole conquest right now. Is they've been on this. See, here's a list of what the slate of hate is. They're calling all these bills a slate of hate. HB 1608 is
Essential.
a don't say gay bill that also forces teachers to out students. You know what they mean by that is that, you know, if a child comes to them in the school and they're like, hey, I want you to like call me this name or these pronouns that go against what I actually am, and the teachers have to tell their parents that, hey, we're going to be doing this just to let you guys know. And that's outing the students. But bleh. SB 480 bans essential. They should have put that in quotes too. Essential medical care for trans youth. SB 12 censors books in schools, opening librarians and teachers up to felony prosecution. These bills have historically been used to ban books related to LGBTQ topics. It's another one that they're talking about, the banned books.
Historically?
Yeah.
Ain't this shit only been going on for maybe max 10 years?
Possibly.
Like, I know we've had gays and lesbians and shit like that, but this whole alphabet shit has only really transpired recently.
True. But, I mean, they're lying. But the whole thing about the banning of the books, I really hate this.
Yeah, like that video we've seen where all the bookshelves were empty.
Yeah. They've been trying to do this, and you know,
I think the bigger question would be, how much fucking porn are you putting in your school that you have to empty the entire bookshelf?
Yeah, the fact that they say that it's banned is just complete. It's just more gaslighting that they constantly do.
Yeah, if it has nothing to do with knowledge and the advancement of a child's mind, it does not need to be in school, period.
True. Especially if it's porn, it doesn't. Not
and if you people were smart, any of our watchers, if you guys are smart, you'd pull your kids out of school right now and just start homeschooling them. It's been proven to be a lot more effective. Children learn better and easier that way.
Mm-hmm.
They're not being driven in a certain direction by rhetoric and agendas.
Well, see, that's their problem, because then you're like, if you're considered a bigot or a hateful person, they don't want you homeschooling your kids, because then they'll say indoctrinating.
Well, it's most so because the schools won't be getting your fucking money anymore.
That's a big thing to it. But check out what else. I really like this next one. They have a problem with this. HB 1569 denies access to gender-affirming care for people housed in the Department of Corrections.
And they wonder why people have been getting raped in prisons lately. I'm a woman, I swear. This penis means nothing.
HB 1407 makes it illegal for child services to consider failure to provide a safe and affirming environment to a trans youth when looking into an abusive home environment. So, you know, if you don't affirm your kids, the state can just take them away, which I don't think that one's going to be passing, unfortunately. So I don't know how exactly that's going to work. If there's like no way.
Yeah, and how long is it going to be before a kid says, well, they didn't affirm my gender, so he wants to get rid of his parents? You know what I mean? They had a big old fight. I'm not liking my parents right now. I say I'm woman just so I can get rid of them. It's kind of like that kid, it's been some years now, but there was a kid that actually divorced his parents at like 13 years old or 14 or something like that. It was quite ridiculous. I didn't even know that was possible.
A big reason for that 1407 right there, a big reason for that was last year here in Indiana, The
Yeah,
Department of Child Services or whatever, they came in
took
and took a
somebody's
child.
kids.
Yeah.
I remember that. I
Mm-hmm.
remember hearing about that.
Yep.
All because they didn't affirm their gender identity.
Identity. So this is the big topic. The ACLU sues Indiana over ban on health care for transgender youth. The American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, and the ACLU of Indiana today filed a lawsuit on behalf of 4 transgender youths and their family, as well as a doctor and healthcare clinic, challenging an Indiana law that prohibits healthcare professionals from providing or even referring transgender young people for medical necessary healthcare. The lawsuit filed in federal court alleges that SB 480 violates the U.S. Constitution on multiple fronts, including the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. In addition, the lawsuit claims that the law violates the federal requirements of the Medicaid Act and the Affordable Care Act because it prohibits essential medical services that would otherwise be authorized and reimbursed by Medicaid. So right there, they're letting you know, our tax dollars pay for
Are paying for these people to get their shit done. No. Please
but I
no.
mean, this is the same thing. Like I said earlier, the ACLU went after the abortion ban that passed in our state, and they made a religious argument on it. They said it's against people's religion to deny them access to an abortion. But what a lot of people didn't see is that it was the Satanic Temple that had the problem with it.
Which is apparently considered a religious factor now.
Who'd have thunk it in these days? Who'd have thunk it?
If you'd asked me 20 years ago if we'd have been having these conversations, I'd have said, nah.
Just imagine what conversations we're going to have in 10 years if we keep allowing this stuff.
Oh, my God.
That's a big thing that I find funny about this is constantly you hear from the left like, oh, we care about democracy and all that stuff. And like when it comes to like the gun situation, there's a lot of NGOs like the NRA, the GOA, all these groups that like defend gun rights and all that stuff because it's an actual right that is in the Constitution. But, we have those. So I'm not opposed to all NGOs. I just find it amusing that they talk about how much they love democracy, and then they have these big NGOs come in with all their millions and billions of dollars and subvert democracy to get these bills that we have, go through the democratic process of people voting on it. We get our representatives in, and then they make these decisions and they vote on it. All the It's funny. It's really funny. It's really funny. Me, I'm not so much for democracy. I think it's kind of gay. Couple of Hoosiers podcasts. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox, pretty much anywhere that you get your podcasts. We do a live stream show every Saturday on Rumble. We upload to YouTube, Odyssey, and BitChute. But if you want to get everything all in one place, go to cohpodcast.substack.com. I write blogs for every episode. They're pretty good. Go check them out.